So I'll ask all of you to put yourself on mute and we'll begin our practice. And today's theme, being that we're in Valentine's Day week, is a practice on love. And have any of you done loving kindness meditation? Okay, Michelle, you've done that. It's a beautiful meditation, and we're going to do a loving kindness meditation as part of our movement practice today. So it'll give you kind of exposure to that form of meditation, and we'll get to celebrate it and pray it in our bodies. So let's go back.
Bathroom mirror, you gave that to me a long time ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, good. So let's go back to our mat and start in standing posture today. So the Christ candle is being lit as a reminder that where two or three are gathered in our Creator God's name, that God is here with us in our midst. We're starting today's practice in mountain pose because I want us to know the resilience, endurance, and beauty of love. Like a mountain, enduring and strong, beautiful. Take a moment here at the start of our practice to come into the temple of our bodies. Spine upright, feet bearing weight evenly, connected to the earth, who in her own way reveals the immense love of our Creator God. And a tall, strong, proud posture, tall to the crown of our heads, knowing that as we enter the temple of our bodies, that we are connected to that infinite source of love. Bringing our hands in prayer pose, close to our own hearts, the thumbs to rest right at our chest. We begin our practice, inviting into our practice our triune God. From our hearts lifting up, extending an open receiving of God, the Mother, Father. Out breath, our arms open, remembering the gift of love sent to us in the form of God's Son, Jesus, teacher, healer, redeemer. Breathing in, hands folded over the heart. Are remembering of the enduring presence of our Creator God's love through the gift and presence of the Holy Spirit with us always. And a gesture outward from our hearts. Open hands. Remembering that it is this coming to the mat and building ourselves up in body, mind, and spirit that we become a gift of love into the world. As we come into sacred presence, let's move into this triune breath, now flowing with your breath in your body, bringing together awareness of our triune Creator God in all its forms that we ask to be part of our practice, to be part of our day, as we seek to bring in the infinite source of love that we celebrate and pray for on the mat today. Continue to breathe and move your creation breath. And as you breathe the creation breath flow, in loving kindness meditation, we first start with connecting to the strongest source of love that we know. And for us as Christians, we turn our hearts and minds to the Creator God. And as you breathe and move with awareness of the gift of the triune nature of our Creator God, hear the words from 1 John chapter 4, verse 19. We love because he first loved us. And as we breathe, allowing ourselves to feel the immenseness of our Creator God's love. Finishing the one that we're on, we'll let our hands come down to our side and draw our chin to chest in a posture of humility. We take nice deep in-breaths, drawing in that unconditional loving God. And each out-breath, a release of what interrupts our receiving of that love. Just simply distractions in our thought, interrupting our prayer. Perhaps disturbance in our emotions from a frustration already that's met us in this day. Maybe an anxiety or a worry about plans in the afternoon. Let the out-breath be an emptying. Surrender any unnecessary physical tensions, softening, making space for the love of God to move in and through us. Gently lift the chin, having emptied. Let's move into flowing motion from the toes and the balls of the feet into the heels, starting maybe gently, nice and easy, sweeping hands forward and past the hips to behind. In flowing motion, we open our hearts and minds to the inflow of love from the divine source. That by our moving and praying, that we don't just think about our prayers, that we feel our prayers in our bodies, animating all that we do with our bodies, our work, our play, our relating with others in the world, all coming from an energy of love today. Landing solid in our feet, we sweep our arms up and two hands come to rest at our hearts. Loving kindness meditation invites us to bring now an image of ourself in mind. Receiving, having removed our barriers, having resourced ourselves with awareness of our Creator God's immense love, we receive that love. Vision yourself receiving God's blessing of love. 1 John chapter 4, verse 16. And so we know and rely on the love God has for us. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God, and God in them. Let a smile emerge on our face as we just bathe in the knowing of the love of our Creator God and our willingness to receive that love. In breath from our hearts. Hands do that prayer pose, lift, and we shower and bathe ourselves in love today, warming our legs and our back. Backs of the hands meet. Hands roll in through the heart, transforming our mind, reaching to the divine source of love and bathing ourselves in that love. This is your moving meditation. See yourself opening up to the love of God and bathing yourself in the blessing and love of Creator God. See yourself receiving that blessing. Feeling yourself receiving that blessing in body and mind and emotion. Our first forward fold today, so checking in with the legs and hips and knees and back. Slowly beginning to warm as we move our legs. On your next flow into forward fold, let's wind up just to the knees. Let's roll through the ankles, massaging the arches of the feet, wiggling our toes. Moving through the knees in a range of motion that's starting to saturate every joint with moving blood flow, life, and love. Change direction, rolling the opposite direction. Then anchoring the feet. Slowly move into a cat stretch. And then sweeping through, lengthening the crown and tailbone. Exhale to cat. Inhale. All this time continuing the loving kindness meditation of saturating the self in love. The self that is your body, your emotions, and your mind. On our next cat stretch, we'll wind up the spine, slowly stacking, opening the arms in a sun breath. Holding an extended mountain pose, we take a wrist pull, exhale into side bend. In breath, tall. Out breath to side bend. As we continue our moving meditation, the practice of love, self-love continues. That every stretch, every posture that we meet our bodies, we recognize any tendency for a negative self-talk or a doubt or a judgment or comparison or criticism. And we breathe into that saturation of love that is close by our prayer. And we gently let thoughts of judgment pass. Protecting every part of our movement, body and mind, remaining in love. In breath, tall. Out breath, the sun breath arms sweep back down to behind the hips, interlacing fingers, knuckles to the floor, heart lifted to our Creator God, breathing as if you continue to shower yourself with love. Scripture reminds us, remain in me and I in you. And we are all connected in that seeking connection to our loving Creator God. Gently release the chest expansion, hands moving in a sun breath, lift tall. In prayer pose, the hands come down to the heart and we sit into chair. In breath, stretching tall. Out breath, open heart to a forward fold. In breath, reverse sun breath arms lift. Prayer hands pull into chair. Warming with energy, in breath tall, out breath open heart to forward fold. In breath, reverse that sweep. Hands come into the heart and we step and open into star. Moving now into our loving kindness meditation. As we seek and sustain an awareness of our loving Creator God, the source of infinite love, and we saturate our body, mind, and emotion, we become a ray of that beautiful creation, a ray of love. So now we bring to mind a neutral person, someone you see at the grocery store or at church. You don't know them very well. You have neither good nor bad feelings about them. You recognize them, but we're going to be that ray of enduring love, the depth, the breadth, the intensity of love that our Creator God fills us with. We shine that on that neutral person. Vision that person receiving your light of love with your target in mind. Let's breathe and move, stepping into 1 foot tall in mountain, and out breath open to star, keeping your target in mind. See yourself engaging with the world with love, stepping the opposite side in mountain. Out breath open to star. This is your moving meditation. That as you travel from the rising of the sun today to its setting, that you shine the light of this infinite love into those you meet. See your target. A neighbor. People you might see that cross your path today. Vision yourself. What do you sound like as you encounter people? How do you act? All day. Be an array of light. Stay here in star pose. Nice deep in breath. Out breath, hinge and fold to a stretch. Surrender the crown. Soften the arms. Let the head hang. Maybe gently sweep the hips side to side. Feeling a checking in with the hips. Coming to center, we lift up off of the mat. We turn our toes open to the corners of the mat. Our elbows come into our hips. Here, breathing into our moon flowers. In breath, stretch tall. Out breath, a pull. In breath, lift. Out breath, pull. Here, our loving kindness meditation takes a pause to consider the darkness elements that you may be facing. A sadness, a doubt, a fear. And let the moon remind us that the love of our Creator God is never absent. So breathe the promise of perpetual love that the moon reminds us of as it stands against a night sky reflecting the perpetual light of sun. See yourself being reassured as you walk a path of darkness. Let love come into that moment, not denying or rejecting your experience, but holding you gently, carefully, with love. Vision yourself receiving and knowing that love in the midst of darkness. See yourself receiving that reassurance. In breath tall, out breath open to star. Nice work. Turn our toes perpendicular to the mat's edge, hinge and fold to straddle. Every breath is a breath of saturated love. Walk your hands to one leg, turning our toes to that mat's end. We drop a knee to the mat. We lift our arms in a sun breath, in a supported lunge. Breathing, feeling the length through the hip flexors. Nice deep in-breath. Out-breath, hands to the instep of that lead leg. The trail toes turn under. We lift into a long lunge. Breathe here, sinking as you're able, feeling stretch into our runner stretch legs, feeling long from the extended heel to the crown of the head. Nice deep in-breath. Out-breath, hands walk to the center mat. Breathing a twist, we open in-breath, one arm to sky. Out-breath to fold. In-breath, open. Out-breath to fold. If you have any continued detoxification, any recurrent habits or patterns of thought or action that you want to wring out of your habits, bring that into this loving kindness meditation. As we twist, we open and release, wringing out what doesn't serve us as we become a channel and vessel of abundant love. Hands meet at the mat. Turn toes to the opposite mat end. Pivot on our feet, drop our knee to the mat. With core strength, we lift our arms in a sun breath into a supported crescent lunge. Breathing here, sensing into your legs as we warm and lengthen. Lead knee is stacked above our heel. Nice deep in-breath. Out-breath, hinge and fold. Hands to the instep. Trail toes turn under and we lengthen into lunge. Breathe a long in-breath, feeling your length. Out-breath, walk to center. Nice work, staying on our feet. We'll walk our hands to the opposite mat end. We'll lengthen and sit into that long lunge. Now we take in-breath and lift the arms in sun breath. And here we'll work. We'll pull and drop that trail knee to a lunge. Lift for 4 and pull. 3 and pull. 2 and pull. 1, pull. Lift, put hands into steeple, interlace fingers, pointer and thumb. Bring the trail leg forward just a step. Plant that foot. Legs are straight as a triangle. We're on railroad tracks, not a balance beam. Hands come into our heart. We pull divine love into heart. We hinge to horizontal over the lead leg. Pause here for a moment. Feel the cooperation, lead leg driving the right hip or lead hip back, trail leg driving the trail hip forward, body square over that lead thigh. Our torso is strong. Take a nice deep in-breath from the heart. Out-breath, extend, reach. In-breath here. Out-breath, hinge over into pyramid stretch. Hands travel the leg, in-breath to the heart, lengthening the spine, extending arms forward, hinge and fold, out-breath. In-breath, pumping into the heart, love, reaching and folding on out-breath. One more, in-breath to heart, an injection of love, out-breath, hinge, to the floor. Hands walk, coming around to center and straddle. Hands continue to walk to the opposite side. Find a long lunge. Sun breath arms lift. And then we'll work on this side. Lunge for 4. And lift. 3. And lift. 2. And lift. 1. And lift. Hands in prayer pose. Come to the heart. The trail foot comes into a manageable stance. Heel to the mat. Lead leg straight. Hips square. Working legs pulling into a square trunk. Hinge and fold over the lead leg. In breath here at our heart and stretching arms out. Out breath, fold into pyramid. In breath, drawing into heart, moving out along the horizon. Out breath, hinge and fold. In breath, pulling into the heart, extending long. Out breath, hinge and fold. Stay here, hands to the center, walk the mat. Nice work. Lift and open into star. Travel your mat. Mountain strength as we move into this day. We're going to add on a pull into chair, working to pull in that love. In breath from divine source. We travel our day as light and love. Stepping opposite side. Pulling in divine source of love into our own hearts. In breath, lift and open to star. Nice. Staying here, star, knowing your light and the source from which it comes, the ever-enduring source. We move into the challenge of our meditation today that is bringing to mind a difficult person or situation, one that causes you difficulty. Vision that person or that situation clearly, one that causes you upset, impatience, frustration, disappointment. Turning toes to one end of the mat, hinging into our warrior pose. We're going to summon our warrior strength. Out over your fingertips, you vision the target of your transformation. When we do the work of drawing in the love of our infinite creator God, it changes the way we see life, world, people. This trail arm is going to sweep the horizon, gathering that infinite source of love. And we're going to draw in our Cupid bow. Boom, pull back that Cupid bow. And I want to vision yourself seeing that person, that situation differently, with eyes of love. Let your arrow loose. And again, open to warrior. Sweep, gathering all the love you can summon and pull. Vision your target. See your target receiving your loving blessing. Release the bow. Continue this moving meditation as we hold for about 3 more breaths. Working your imagination along with your body, seeing your extension of love, moving to your target. And see them receiving your loving blessing. Finishing, opening to star. You are light. You are love. Hands to behind the back, interlacing fingers, knuckles to the floor, heart uplifted. We know that we have everything we need to do this work and to transform our circumstances. First Corinthians 13, verse 7. Because scripture tells us, love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. breathing that promise into our hearts. We open again to star. We are light. We are love. Turn your toes to the opposite mat's edge. Pivot into your tip into your warrior two. Have your target. It could be the same one if it really needs that much work. It could be a new one that you want to work on. This is mental and physical work. Sweep, gathering love, pull back your bow, and release. Send your blessing of love to your difficult target. Work and breathe. In breath, drawing back. Out breath, release. In breath, drawing back. Out breath, release. Sending blessing. See your target receiving your blessing. One more. And open to star. You are light. You are love. Bearing fruit into the world, we travel this day, moving to the side mat, pulling into chair, anchoring to the inside leg, we grow into a tree. By doing your movement meditation, by your prayer and petition, by the work of your intention setting, becoming a vehicle of love and light into the world, you then bear fruit. In breath, tall to mountain. Out breath, open to star. Stepping to the opposite side mat, mountain. Pull into chair. Anchored on the inside leg. Lift and grow into tree. Love is a nourishment. It gives you firm nourishment in your roots. It gives you strength as if your trunk. It bears fruit by how you see the world and act and engage. In breath, tall to mountain. Hands draw to the heart. Beautiful work. Putting our stretching and strength into an expression of a salute to this day. This is the day that our Creator God has gifted us with. Let's rejoice, be glad, and bring love into this day. In breath, tall to mountain. Out breath, open heart to forward fold. In breath, send your right foot back to long lunge. Out breath to downward dog. In breath, forward to plank. Out breath, lower to hover. In breath, cobra. Out breath, push through to downward dog. In breath, right foot forward. Out breath to forward fold. Soften the knees, flatten the back. Receive this day joyfully. Hands in prayer pose, pull to the heart. Pausing here at the heart. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down our lives for our friends. This is the day our Creator God has gifted us with. How will we be a friend, a ray of light of love today? In breath, tall to mountain. Out breath, open heart to forward fold. In breath, send your left foot back to lunge. Out breath to downward dog. In breath, forward to plank. Out breath to hover. In breath, cobra or up dog. Out breath, push through to downward dog. In breath, left foot forward. Out breath to forward fold. Soft knees, flat back. Reverse sun breath arms. Pull hands in to prayer. Beautiful work. We'll do more sun salute, adding some core work. Today we're going to stretch to mountain and stay here. And we're going to take our right foot back Step it back, give a little bit of a back extension, and then pull our interlaced fingers down in front and give a crunch. You can go to just a toe tap. I want to see a tailbone tuck and a core hug. This tap can turn into a knee lift if you want. And we're going to reach and pull, reach and pull, reach and pull, reach and pull. 4 more. Reach for 4, reach for 3, reach for 2, reach for 1. Reach tall and mountain. Out breath, open heart to forward fold. In breath, send that right foot back. Out breath to downward dog. In breath, forward to plank. We're going to stay here and work. You can be on your knees or in full plank. We're working the right side body on this round. The right leg is going to come in and cross to the opposite elbow. Touch for 8 to plank. 7, just the right leg. 6, and extend. 5, extend. 4, extend. 3, extend. 2, extend. And 1. Full plank or modified, lower to hover. In breath, cobra or up dog. Out breath, push through to downward dog. In breath, right foot forward. Out breath to forward fold. Soft knees, flat back. Reverse sun breath, arms. Hands stay tall, left leg back. Interlaced fingers. Come to a tuck. Pause here. Feel the tailbone tuck, feel the core squeeze. Pelvic floor lifted, trunk hugging. Everything coming into center. This can be a toe tap. It can be a knee lift. Let's work. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come to mountain. Out breath, open heart to forward fold. Left foot back to lunge. Out breath to downward dog. In breath, forward to plank. Stay here. On the knees. If you're on the knees, the leg can still travel. 8 to the opposite elbow. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Plank, hinge and fold, lower heart over hands to hover. In breath, cobra or up dog. Out breath is come to the knees. Great work. Good power in your sun salutes. Here in your tabletop posture, the belly is lifted, the tailbone is long, the crown extended, eyes to the mat. Starfish hands underneath our shoulders, knees hip width, underneath. Let's move into our flowing spinal balance. In breath, lengthen. Out breath, return. In breath, lengthen and return. See if you can sustain balance in shoulders and hips. Flexed foot, so you wake up your hamstrings as if you're trying to press your heel to the wall behind you. Here, we're going to walk our hands forward a step. We're going to push up into that plank. You can be one knee on the mat. We did knees across the opposite elbow. Now we're going to do knees to the outer same side elbow. We're going to do alternating, a set of 8. Elbow travels for 8 and return. 7, return. 6, return. 5, return. 4, return. 3, return. 2, return. And 1. Beautiful. Knees down, hips back, Arms swim around, rest those shoulders. Let the head come to rest. Child's pose is a nice time to plant your seed thought. I guide a practice of prayer on the mat. You choose. How are you going to choose to move this practice of prayer into your day? What's your dream? What's your wish? To be more in love. Gently come out of child's pose. Let's sweep around into seated posture. Today, let's start tall in butterfly pose. So sometimes love can feel, this be light with our legs, like butterfly wings. Sometimes love can be intense and powerful and takes a lot of work, like we practice in our warrior pose. And then sometimes love needs to be very delicate, tender, light. Let your knees settle in butterfly pose. Vision a circumstance in your life that might require your tender expression of love, a light touch. See that circumstance. Bless it with your intention to enter into it with a light love. Gently release the stretch, bringing our feet flat, knees tall. In breath, lift. Out breath, recline. In breath, lift. Out breath, recline. One more in breath, lift. Recline as far as you can hold. Your belly button is your teacher. We'll stay here, holding belly button to the spine. And then we're going to work single leg lifts on the out breath, alternating if you like. Or you can take a double leg lift on the out breath. Your belly button's your teacher. Belly button hugs the spine. Just one more of these. And then we're going to lift and hold for 8. Hug thighs to heart. 7, 6, belly button squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands underneath. Slowly lower down the trunk to the mat. Legs can stay high. And we're going to stay in an ab crunch posture. Apples distance between your chin and your chest. In a scissors. Lengthen. Lengthen. On the out breath, we exchange. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold both legs tall. Hug heart over toward the thighs for 3, 2, 1. Knees bend, feet to the mat. Give yourself room on your mat, arms open, shoulder height. In breath here at the mat. Out breath, press into the heels, palms come to press above the heart. In breath, return. Out breath, press. 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 4 more. Press. 3. Press. 2. Press. And 1. Press. Let's lower the hips Extend one of your legs long. Doesn't matter which side, we'll just alternate sides. Extended leg, we roll onto that side. Extended leg can bend to give a little bit of balance. We can hold our head to support. Top leg becomes long. Here, check in to see that your hips are stacked. We don't want to fall back on that bottom hip. We want to keep hips stacked, shoulders stacked. Foot flexed, as in mountain pose, like you're standing on the floor. Here, we're going to work our glute, our hip. So we're going to take and point the toes as we do a side leg lift. Check to make sure that you sustain stacked hips, belly button to hug the spine. And then we're going to work flex to squeeze. Imagine that you're pressing through really thick water. And then point for 8 and pull. 7 and pull. 6 and pull. 5 and pull. 4 and pull. 3 and pull. 2 and pull. And 1 and pull. Lift and hold that leg up. Extend the underside leg long. Keeping the core tight. Squeeze, pelvic floor lifted. The underside leg will come to meet the upper for 8 and lower. 7 and lower. 6 and lower. 5 and lower. 4 and lower. 3 and lower. 2 and 1. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Roll onto your back. Knees up in tabletop. Arms swim into an ab prep posture. Pressing the arms. We're going to do our 100. This is a little Pilates work today. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold and surrender. Arms open, shoulder height. Take and press into bridge. This time, we're going to take a little march. We're going to lift a single leg up and lower it down. Alternate lift and walk it down. Holding a bridge, walking the legs for 4, return. 3, return. 2, return. 1, return. Hips to the mat. Roll onto your other side. I'm going to flip ends of the mat so that I can stay looking at you. On your side, feet flexed, head relaxed, hips stacked. Underside leg can bend for a little bit of balance if you want that. And we're going to work this side leg. Point and squeeze. Flex that foot. 7 and squeeze. 6, squeeze. 5, squeeze. 4, squeeze. 3, squeeze. 2, squeeze. And 1, squeeze. Leg stays hovering. Extended leg is long now. Hand can be in front for balance if you like. Underside leg works to meet the top leg for 8 and lower. 7, lower. 6, lower. 5, lower. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Roll onto your backs. Legs up in tabletop. Lift into ab prep posture. Hands lightly hold. And we're going to do our opposite armpit toward the knee for 8. Exchange. 7. Exchange. 6. Exchange. 5. Exchange. 4. Exchange. 3. Exchange. 2. Exchange. and 1. Exchange. Ab prep posture, hands underneath, unwind to the floor. Knees stay here. Nice work. Send hands and feet tall. Point and flex the wrist and ankles. Circle. Change direction. Nice. Knees into tabletop, arms open, shoulder height. Take your knees one at a time to one side, surrendering the legs first. Consciously sense into a melting, a surrendering, melting into the floor. Arms and shoulders do the same. Head turns opposite our knees. Breathe deeply. Smoothing the breath. Surrendering the body. Carrying the breath infused with love into all the open spaces. Head back to center. Knees come through one at a time. Hands under the thighs, give a little massage. Rock and roll. Open arms up again, shoulder height. Knees travel to the opposite side. Surrender the legs. Stay with your legs long enough to really feel what's available for you to surrender. If you need a pillow between your knees or you need to adjust the position of your legs, do whatever you need to find a place where you can truly just let go. Let the legs surrender any work or tension. And then the arms and shoulders and chest. And then we turn our head opposite our knees. And we breathe. Every in-breath a drawing from source of love. Every out-breath a sending of that energy into every part. Blessing ourselves with the drawing in of the love that is infinitely available. Head back to center. Knees come through one at a time. One foot down, flat, the other extended. We hold a hamstring stretch. Just 3 cleansing breaths. Breathing that promise of our triune God with us always, a source, able to find us and meet us, whatever we experience today. We can come back to that breath of love that endures all things, hopes all things, believes all things. Exchange legs. And surrender. Give legs now a lengthening along the end of the mat. Maybe legs a little wider than hip width, letting the feet fall open. Hands open at our side. A good couple of feet today, feeling really still very radiant. Shimmy shoulder blades underneath so we have that open heart. Return to the vision of breath coming in and out of the heart center. In this final relaxation pose, we surrender our will and we turn ourselves over to the will of God. Thy will be done. First Corinthians 13, verse 13. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Slowly begin to reanimate your body. Maybe wiggle fingers and toes. Moving on to side body for a pause. Opening eyes to get a sense of your outer environment. And then moving up into a seated posture, slowly, safely. Hands in prayer pose with thumbs to touch at our heart. This organ that moves life throughout our bodies. We are connected to it in body, mind, and emotion. Trusting that as we move through our day and we sink into our hearts, that we will quickly revisit our effort to know love, to feel love, and to give love. We finish in the name of our triune God, lifting up in the name of Creator God, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and our Amen. Ready to be a ray of love today. Peace.